But then again, it isn't incumbent on anyone else. It's incumbent on me. It was my generation that screwed this up. And I'm going to do whatever I can to fix it, because I cannot, with any good conscience, leave this earth and hand this crap off to my kids. I can't do it.
I can't believe it was just your generation that caused this. It came from way back before that. You laid the groundwork for it way back.
That's true, but me blaming anyone else doesn't get anything done.
I understand that, but just understanding that
Yes.
it's taken that long.
It has.
Ignored it for that long.
But the problem is, too many times when we go, well, it was all those other generations, so thereby I don't have any responsibility. No. It's broken. It's in my hands. It's my responsibility. The greatest sentence I ever learned, I learned as an infantry soldier. It's 10 words long. Each word is only 2 letters long. And it goes like this: if it is to be, it is up to me. It's not incumbent on anybody else. You don't win battles by sitting back and trying to decide whose fault it was. You win battles by getting your butt up out of the foxhole, charging and taking care of business. That's how you win a war. And we are in a war. So, go ahead.
I think people have to, men, women, and children have to get to a point where they can identify the tactics of the enemy. I mean, this is a really spiritual battle that's going on. It's a Luciferian agenda, and it's a worldwide agenda. It's just not here on the United States, but how they're attacking the children, what their long-term plans are. I mean, just what was on a couple weeks ago when you had the Grammys. That was a satanic ritual.
I'm sorry I didn't watch it.
I didn't either, but how many people are calling that stuff out? And if you got a social platform, use it. Who cares if you get banned?
Well, let's make no mistake, there isn't any battle on this earth that hasn't been a spiritual battle.
Right.
The spiritual battle started in the garden as soon as Eve decided that she wanted the knowledge of God. And the serpent, that's what the serpent convinced her of. The battle has been spiritual ever since, and it always will be. We're not fighting a physical enemy. We're fighting a spiritual enemy. But that spiritual war is pushing in to the physical plane, the physical dimension. We do have some control over what happens in the physical dimension, but we have to be strong spiritually as well as strong physically to fight that war. And part of fighting that war in the physical dimension is the knowledge of our history and the knowledge of our founding and the principles of our founding. Just like what you were getting at, if we remember the Declaration of Independence, remember I keep telling you to memorize the beginning of that? Because there's a spot that says, all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer evils while evils are sufferable, rather than to right themselves and abolish the systems to which they have become accustomed. That right there, our founders even knew that we were lazy. We will sit by while things are bad, as long as they're not so bad that I don't have my vacations, not so bad that I don't have my toys, not so bad that I can't watch my Super Bowl, not so bad that I can't have the kids in every sport going and traveling all over the place, not so bad. As long as I've got that, we're good. So we'll watch Rome burn around us while we sit right there until the flames get so high we can't escape. That's a self-evident truth. All experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer evils, while evils are sufferable. My question to you is, when will the evils become unsufferable? When? When we're in World War III? You realize we're closer to a world war, nuclear war, closer than we've ever been I was in the military during the Cold War. And that was the big fear, that Russia, a nuclear power, was going to launch nuclear ICBMs against us. We trained our kids to get underneath their desk like that was going to protect them somehow. We had those drills in school. Anybody else remember them? Are we doing it today?
Nope.
But yet we're closer today than we have ever been. The left claims about environmental health. Oh, they're worried about environmental health. Anybody watch the news with Palestine, Ohio, East Palestine? Well, I guess it's all right as long as we poison an area with a bunch of conservatives. That's okay. But try to set up a hydroelectric dam and there's a snail darter, and that's the only place in the world it lives, and we can't do it. Have we lost our collective minds? Do we understand that it's not coincidence that all these food processing plants are burning to the ground? The chickens have stopped laying eggs because of the feed they're getting.
Where did it come from? China.
Are we that numb to reality? Are we that lazy?
I heard an article, a discussion, and an interview about the owner of the feeds for the chicken is Purina, and they are the ones that own some huge operation that's still going.
Well, if you pull up Purina and you take a look and see who their corporate donors are, you're going to find that there's three big corporate donors that are the three big corporate donors that own just about everything in the world. One of them's Vanguard. Where do they get a lot of their money? China. Think about it. This is why our founders wanted us to have coinage of precious metal that only God controls, not man. But in that same year that we got the 17th Amendment, we got the 16th, in which against everything that our founding fathers taught us in all of our history in England, we decided to go to a fiat paper money. And yet here we are.
And now they want to go with a CBDC.
Yep. And pretty soon they're going to worry about how they're losing stuff, and you're going to have a digital angel chip that all you have to do is pass your hand by it. Do you realize there's a couple businesses now that all their vending machines have that, and all their employees have a chip in the web of their hand where they just walk by the vending machine, pick what they want, do it, and it comes off their paycheck? When is the evil going to be unsufferable? When? I say it was 100 years ago. But even I was asleep for too long. I won't make that mistake again. So, I hope this class had some worth in it to you. I hope you go back and read this again, look at it. This is 21st century, you can find it. It's not hard to put it into DuckDuckGo and it'll come up. You can use free source or you can use the CIA Google. Don't matter. It's there, you'll find it. You can read it. Have your kids read it. Explain it to them. I've never heard another speech that had so much self-evident truth in it as that. We should have listened to Franklin. He was wise. But the impetuousness of youth, and here's where we're at. So, next week is
Federalist Paper 1.
Federalist Paper 1. Not a big fan of Hamilton, but he hit a home run with that one. The first paragraph really sets up the whole argument to why we needed to have a constitution and not the Articles of Confederation. So, you'll enjoy Federalist One. So with that, if there aren't any more questions or concerns, if everybody turn their phaser back to stun because we come in peace. And we'll see you next week.